Health officials are worried New Year's Eve celebrations could fuel coronavirus cases and hospitalizations.
To talk more about this, joining us right now is clinical nurse and NBC4 contributor Alice Benjamin. It's always good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Nurse Alice, I hear this from friends all of the time. I got tested. I'm negative. I'm fine. Don't have to worry about it. But can you give us the breakdown of why this doesn't give you a pass to party or really to go anywhere?
So what we know about COVID-19 is that there is a good portion of people who are asymptomatic. So they can very well have coronavirus and be infectious. So, when you get a test, you're being tested in that moment. Now, as soon as you leave that testing site, if you go to the grocery store, if you go to the mall, you pit stop to see a parent, all of those are potential opportunities for exposure and can very much change your status. So that test that you took earlier in the day or yesterday, even if that were negative, that could be null and void. So it's going to be very important that we don't just rely on a test that's one moment in time to say that, hey, I'm safe to go out and do all of these things, because the truth is, you could still very well be positive, may not have gotten that positive test result, but because each moment is an opportunity to get infected, we have to operate with extreme caution.
And Nurse Alice, we're seeing the hospitals and all of you healthcare workers just being slammed by the Thanksgiving spike. So when should we expect to see the full impact now as we've been through Christmas and now New Year's?
That's a great question. And I think with every holiday, there's been a spike shortly thereafter, because what happens is people, they gather, they celebrate, they think, oh, well, I've had a negative test, I should be okay. But it never fails. Someone does get exposed to coronavirus. And as we know now, there's a new strain that's potentially more infectious. So all the more reason we want people to be very, very cautious. But again, with every holiday, there's been a spike. Usually we see about a week or 2 week lag in those infection rates. So we still have, this weekend to get through, but I anticipate that we're still going to be full in our ERs and our ICUs for quite some time as we head into January.
And Nurse Alice, as we try to get through this evening, New Year's Eve, kind of notorious as being one of those instances when people end up in the hospital, whether it's for car accidents or fireworks injuries. If people go to the ER tonight and at any hospital, will they even be allowed in?
Well, yes. So there's one thing about the emergency room. We can't deny anyone care. You may come and may have to wait an awfully long time, but we will definitely see you. But as we know, our ERs and our ICUs are inundated with patients who have COVID-19. So we're also concerned that if you come for, perhaps you fell and tripped and have a bruised ankle, maybe think it's broken, you still come to the emergency room. And even though we do our best to isolate people, the potential for coming in contact with someone who has COVID-19 is high there. So want to caution people to please stay home. If you're working with fireworks, be very cautious. If you're going to drink alcohol, stay home, don't drink and drive, and do everything you can to stay home. Literally almost put yourself in a bubble for the rest of this weekend so you don't have to go to the emergency room, because you're in for a long wait if you go in there for an injury that happens tonight or tomorrow.
Absolutely. We have to gain some control over this. All right. Thank you so much, Nurse Alice.